Hello everybody, welcome back to our channel Autistic Multiple Life. This channel was created to erase stigma around autism and dissociative identity disorder and other conditions in dissociative spectrum, other type of neurodiversities, and speak about human diversity as whole. And today I want to speak about sex positivity and sex and system. I mean, what it means to have sex when you have several people in your head. Okay, I was making video about relationship with system and sex with system before, but was more about kind of how to say it, more about more basic questions, not about personal experience. And it was in personal experience it was more just some facts but without kind of explanation what it means. Some basic stuff like if you're in your head one of your alters is child, don't let this child have sex. When you're having sex, the child came just stopped because child more likely would be just confused. Your partner wouldn't like that they have sex with a child and stuff like this. So some very basic stuff. And when I was speaking about relationship, I was speaking about romantic cultures, different type of cultures. That cultures could have different sexual orientation, different gender identity, could be monogamic, polyamoric, and etc. Yeah, and today I want to speak more about sexual life and about how it's going on in our system, what it means, what's our main problems. Okay, I think it's two kind of problem. First kind of problem would be, I think it would be useful information not just for systems and their partners, but also for people, for many transgender people, and for people who just interested in transgender experience. And second, it's specifically DID stuff, or all DD stuff. I mean, specifically multiple dissociative plural stuff. Okay, so first it's about gender dysphoria. We live in a female body, but most of alters who fronting more have male gender identity or non-binary gender identity with male picture of the body, male kind of feeling of the body. So sex for us in many ways mean having sex while having gender dysphoria. It was very difficult at first because first years when someone in this body was having sex, it was Verba. Verba is a girl, but deeply transphobic, and Verba just push off Ayman or someone else who was in confront. And Verba was very scared of all topics about sex. Yeah. And Verba just made us ignore our gender dysphoria. When someone thinks about gender dysphoria, Verba just made us stop think about it, and it was really difficult to understand what's wrong, why we couldn't remember sex, why we couldn't have proper sex, why we couldn't hear our partner before sex when our partner speaking about her preferences, our wife speaking about her preferences, why it was very awkward situation, very shameful situation when our partner said to us not to do something, but we just don't hear it because in this moment we have this kind of feeling that part of our memories about body image was kind of erased and we don't understand what's going on. We're thinking it just because we are sexophobic, but it was not just because of it. Yeah, and so what we doing now, at first most of the time, and the most important stuff we found out it's during meditation, during mindfulness practice. It could sound like ridiculous in this situation, but for us it's really helped to pay attention to our body. It's first, it could make discomfort even worse, because if you pay attention to your body, you in the same time pay attention to part of your body that you don't accept and don't feel like you're part of your body. I mean, like your boobs or your vagina or your clitoris. You pay attention to this part too, and it could be very you understand what I mean, cringe feeling at first. Yeah, but after that, after you pay attention to your body, at first you better understand kind of how your body works, and made some kind of if you, for example, ever meditated using visualization technique, it could be like, I don't know, sending kindness to someone, imagine the other person, or imagine bright sunlight that melting down your worries, or help you to calm down, or stuff like this. I use the same technique to do something with my gender dysphoria, so I just change. At first I just feel my body fully, and after that I change my body image in my mind. And more often I change my body image to my body image, so how I look like in the inner world. And if we in confront, most of the time we is with two alters in confront, most of the time we just use a picture of alter who is more like this body in physical senses. I mean, for example, if one of the alter is huge guy with huge beard, and this body is kind of small, we more likely will use body image of alter who is more small. But not always, it's more likely. So yeah, the first stuff that could help, it's just if you use meditation, if you use mindfulness, and try to pay more attention at first to your body, and change your body image before sex. It's helped to us, maybe it wouldn't help to you, but if you have gender dysphoria, it would help. Also, it could help if you speak with your partner and said, for example, what kind of names for your body parts is not unpleasant to you. For example, if our partner would touch our breast, it would be unpleasant to us. Or would speak about our breast. Yeah, what's name of the body parts were more pleasant to you? What better touch, what better not touch. It could be difficult conversation, I know, in my case it was, but my partner knew it's someone else, some of the alter tell her about all of it. Also, what else could help in way of mindfulness? It's help. It's made feeling more stronger, kind of explain to you. You know, if you started feel you like more fully your feeling, your sexual feeling became more stronger. And if you have some problems with, I don't know, for example, if you have dyspraxia, or because of gender dysphoria you have anxiety and have some problems in moving your body, I don't know, in putting sex toy in your partner vagina, or stimulated your partner clitoris, or if your partner is female, or okay, I said about my experience, but any stuff that could be a little bit difficult for you if you don't feel your body. It's actually, if you're more mindful, it's actually help you to better understand your body in this moment. And I also, at first, what I do, pay attention to my own body, after that pay attention to my partner body. And if I better understand my body, I better understand and see my partner reaction. Okay, and so I would be very glad if you write something about gender dysphoria, what stuff help you. Also, what helped me, not just mindfulness, sometimes I try to wear something that's not too tight, because I don't like, for example, if I wear tight t-shirt and my breasts look like female breasts. So I try to wear something that maybe not look very sexy from perspective of majority people. This look like huge pajama, but it's really more pleasant for me. Also, I use male perfume, and of course, when I bought Binder, it started to feel much better. And um, when I wear male sneakers, it's feel like more better. My body started to feel more like my body. So clothes and perfumes also could help. Um, and it's not just about male female stuff, because you know that it's all just gender stereotypes. It's more like about if your perfume, if your clothes is really help you to feel like you look like inside, like you look like in the inner world. If it help you to feel more yourself. And we're speaking about gender dysphoria, it's the same question. If you feel it's if it's help to somehow feel that your body is more like the body that you imagine, because it could be it's many types of the bodies that you could have. Yeah, for example, for us, it's binge is real important. For you, maybe not. Also, for us, it's more easy if we have in this moment have better this kind of physical imagination. For us, it's better to use strap-on and imagine it's like we have penis. But when we too exhausted to make in our imagination that this strap-on is kind of our penis, we just use some kind of vibrators most of the time. Yeah. So it's other type of sex toys. Yeah, it depends also of different levels of imagination that we could use in this moment. So second question. Second question is about multiple life, and the most difficult stuff in this question it's about we don't found out yet how we could make boundaries in our head. I mean, we don't yet knew how to stop the ulcer to reach our thoughts. So when I, for example, having sex with my partner Lina, it's like as the ulcer see through, and someone could came. For example, our prosecutor could send one of the littles, or our prosecutor could came and started to say some religious stuff. And first stuff, sometimes when you even don't think about it that it could happen, it's increase the level of anxiety. So first step that really could help your sexual life if you have this problem, that alters who don't need to be there just came. First step, just speak with this alter, maybe in the same time using breathing exercises or in a kind of atmosphere, in kind of environment that feel friendly for this alter. For example, for a child, it could be when child in good mood and ready to speak with you, or when just to explain to the child that it's not a place for them. For your prosecutor, it could be any moment when you're in resource and your prosecutor not extremely angry at you. Also, it could be alters that decided to use some sexual practice that you don't like or your partner don't like. For example, one of our alters sometimes try to put finger near anus. It doesn't matter if this alter like anal sex, all other in the body hate anal sex. It doesn't matter if we're speaking about anal sex with other person, like with our partner, or we're speaking about masturbation. And in this situation, actually, we decided to bought some sex toy for this alter, and we look at this alter because this alter is like to behave like trickster. We look at this alter in the beginning most of the time when we having sex with our partner, so this alter wouldn't do it because our partner don't want it and we don't want it. Yeah, so if communication in this situation don't work, just try to look at this alter and maybe ask your gatekeeper to look at this alter. Also, what could help, not just about communication, but just pay attention to alters during the day, or kind of who is near you, who front you near, when you do something. I don't know, when you're reading, when you make cooking, when you going for a walk, when you're sitting on your computer, in front of your computer, just okay, who is now near me? This guy, this guy, this girl, this non-binary person, this animal. Well, okay, they're near, I would accept it. At first it could freaking out sometimes how many guys could wander inside your head when you're doing something. It could feel abnormal. You could have some kind of protest inside you, resistance to this feeling, to pay attention to your alters. But it's not just help your sexual life, it actually could help just your everyday life, because if you more often notice other alters, it's less possibility that other alter could take control from you in some situation when it could be dangerous or very awkward. So just and it's not something that started to work at first. It just starts something that started in some skills that you work on. Like, I don't know, like for example, if you want to make your hands more stronger, you need to do exercises, but your hands not became stronger after 2 days. Maybe they became a little bit stronger after 10 days of the exercises. Yeah, the same with paying attention to other alters who near you. In the same time, you would have more opportunity to hold the front, hold of control of the body. But even despite all of this, we're not good in it yet. We are crappy in it, but we understand that if I want my life to be more like my life, I need to learn, pay more attention to other alters, who is near me, to pay attention who is near me now, in this particular moment, what sorts of mine, what sorts of them, if it's possible. It's not always possible, but I started to notice that it would help sexual life. And in the same time, it's made less this level of anxiety that you could help, that other alters kind of hear your feeling, hear your emotions, hear your sexual sexual, I don't know, fantasies, imaginary sexual pictures in your head, because you're just more used to, yeah, of course, but this guy is also hearing other thoughts, and you also hear their thoughts. So yeah, it's a little bit like living in telepathic society, but you just started to used to it a little bit, and after that you became less anxious about it, and after that it became more easy during sex. You wouldn't feel so anxious, you wouldn't be awkward, you would more likely have pleasant feeling during sex, and your partner more likely would have pleasant feeling, and you more likely would pay attention to your partner words or your partner body image, if you wouldn't feel so awkward that other alters is looking at you. Of course, someone would look at you. Also, in physical level, sometimes we have this situation when one alter is thinking, other alter is moving. In this situation, endurance sex is working too. Important to understand who is moving, who is thinking. Or at least, okay, I'm now only moving. My thoughts in moving. I'm thinking about my moves. I'm not thinking about this body image, this images about body, images about sex that in my head. Okay, it could actually help, because just understand your level of control. It could actually help, and in future it could help in inner communication. Okay, in this moment who would front. What also could happen because of all this telepathic society inside your head, you could switch during sex, and it could be not very pleasant if your partner don't know that you are multiple. Fortunately, we don't have this experience, but you more or less switch during sex if you just before sex just pay attention who is near, and make sure that someone could take control from you just wouldn't do it, or wouldn't do it obviously at least. Of course, so again, inner communication, mindfulness, and attention to your inner world. It's all about this stuff, I think. Communication, inner and inside, outside. inside-outside communication, I mean with your partner and with your alters. It's about paying attention to body feeling, kind of work with body shames, with slut shaming, body shaming that live inside our heads because of our cultures. Not inside of all people's heads, but inside of most most people mind. And paying attention to your emotions, your feeling. If you're speaking only about systems, it's not just about your emotions. It would be more about also about other alters emotions. And if we're speaking about transgender people, it's not just about some emotions, it's also about gender in many ways. It's also about gender dysphoria. What I want to say in end, I'm speaking about my own experience, so experience of other systems in their sexual life could be really not like my experience, and some tips that help me maybe not help other people. I just saying about stuff that helped me. And about transgender people, of course I understand that not transgender people have gender dysphoria, not transgender people have some kind of male or female image of body, it could be mixed image of body, and not all transgender people, not all transgender people, even who have gender dysphoria, feel it like I feel it. And I would be really grateful if you would write something about your sexual life of your system or if you're a transgender person. Maybe you have some kind of feedback. Okay, thank you so much for your attention. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe to our channel to make it more visible, because I really try to promote it. I really try to make it more visible. It's really important for me. And I have now a very difficult time, and if you want to support me, it would be great support. Tell about this channel to your friends, and see you next time. Bye.